something that needed to be talked about years and years and years ago. I'm old enough to remember the Rodney King situation and everything that happened there, and nothing was changed there, and they let these police officers go, and that happened to get videotaped just because of the spot they were at, and there was a camera there that was actually able to catch them. But God knows how much of this stuff was never caught on video, and that we never know about, and how long this is going on in this country it's been way too much. And now with the technology and everything we have, everything is going to be documented. The world now will be documented by a 12-year-old kid standing on the side of the street, or a 40-year-old mom standing over there with a camera. Everything is seen now, and everything is going to be put out there. And people are like, well, this wouldn't be well, that's the problem, is that if it wasn't for these videos and stuff that are going out there, we would never know that this problem exists in the world. And I've heard all the stories about Floyd was a criminal. He done this, he done that, he done this, he done that. All that doesn't matter. This dude could have done the most heinous acts besides murdering somebody. It doesn't justify the right for this man to be killed the way that he was. And you can do nothing outside of putting another person's life at risk. And that's the way that somebody should defend themselves, is if they feel like their life is at risk. These guys didn't feel like their life is at risk. They were just taking advantage of having a badge and a gun and wearing a uniform that thinks that they give them the right to do whatever they want to do, and they'll be able to get away with it. The main thing that needed to come out of this is, if something like this happens, people need to be held accountable, and there doesn't need to be a pause in the amount of time that it takes these people to be held accountable. As soon as this video came out, or as soon as they even knew that this happened, these guys should have been put on administrative leave, or had something done to them to where they were put in custody, and they couldn't go nowhere until an investigation came out about this stuff. Now, because you acted wrong, all it would have took was 4 arrests, and we probably still would have had an outcry for stuff going on, but it wouldn't be this rioting and looting and everything like that if only you would have made the decision to do these arrests before time, when it actually happened. And it's just the process is just as messed up as the crime. I had a discussion today and like Cortez said, we need to talk to people about this kind of stuff. Not only the people of opposite color as you, but people of the same color, because not everybody knows what it's like out there. And me and my mom had a discussion today. It was a really nice discussion. And my mom was talking about the looting and the rioting and everything like that, which I agree with my mom. The looting and the rioting, where Cortez says that he totally agrees with what's going on, I see different versions of people coming out that shouldn't be coming out, and they're all doing things for the wrong reason. And the wrong reason is don't go out and just start breaking stuff just for the plight of breaking stuff and taking stuff just because you want to take it. Do what people are doing for the purpose, and protesting peacefully, and protesting the way that we actually see stuff is evolving, and people are listening to people now more often. But and you look at the videos of the cops that are doing stuff to these people that are protesting, and it's like I told my mom, I was like, Mom, this isn't about the looting, and it's about people being held accountable, and this kind of stuff stopping for one particular race right now. And that's what we need to focus on. What we need to focus on is that Black lives matter just as much as any other life in this world. And we need to realize that until we get that fixed, we can't move forward the way we want to, because we're always leaving people behind. Me as a white guy, yes, we're privileged. We're privileged beyond belief that we get away with stuff, not get away. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That when we get pulled over, we don't get this 97 questions. We get the one things they ask for your license and registration. You give it to them. They write you a ticket or whatever, and they tell you have a nice day. They don't tell you get out of your car, put your hands on the hood, do anything like that. So yes, we have is a completely different way. Whereas the bad part about this is I have to worry in this. I shouldn't have to worry in this day and age that friends and people I consider family at any time can be taken away just because somebody wants to overstep their boundaries because they have a badge and a gun. And until that is taken care of, the country, like I said, the country is never going to move forward. And then you've got some idiot genius, and I call him that. He's an idiot, but he's such a genius that he's got a lot of people duped in to his beliefs, wanting to release our own military against cities. Look here, as a person that's been in the military, I've seen the military happen to police a place. It's not pretty. It's not cool, and it's not right. And that was overseas. But telling people that are Americans and that are African Americans that you're sending to these lines as well, telling them that they've got to do stuff to keep these people in line and things like that, it's not going to sit well with a lot of these guys. And mind you, they got a job to do because that's their orders. And if they fall out of line, they can get in trouble. But man, it's just, this is a slippery slope that we are on right now, and it's not being handled correctly by the people that are over us. Luckily, we've heard things from our local people in the state of Florida, Jacksonville, down where you live. We've had our people come out and say the things that needed to be said. It's just a shame that the President of the United States can't come out and say the things that need to be said in order to try to join America together. Because now, if he came out and said anything like that, it's already too late because of the stuff that you've already said or tweeted. And it's terrible, man. It's terrible. But my mom finally understood where I was coming from. I was like, Mom, all this stuff ain't about what you think it is. I said, you focus on the looting and the rioting and all this other stuff. That's not where your focus should be. I told her, I said, Mom, just think about Cortez, and that if this happened to him, what would you be thinking right now? I said, think about that for a second. I said, think about if something happened like this to Cortez, how we would feel. I said, that's how you need to look at this, as if somebody you know and you care for was in this situation and this happened to him. I said, when you think about it in that terms, you understand what people are going through and what's coming about and what the focus on we should have is the direction of change that we need to be making in this country. Because right now we have a guy, and I went back and I read something. CL did an interview with me back when Colin Kaepernick did his kneeling stuff and asked me how I felt about it. Mm-hmm. And the words I used about Donald Trump was, it's like a little kid with a toy gun or with a gun, and he don't know how to use it, and he don't know how to do with it. And that's still what it's like today, is that this country is like a gun to him, and he still don't know how to use it, and he damn sure hasn't cleaned it in a while. And it's just a bad thing.
Listen, Kevin, I want to thank you and Justin, Kara, Nicole. I even had a buddy of mine from Twitter named Gary reached out for me from UK and just checked on me and make sure I was okay. And when I say that spoke volumes of you guys reaching out to me and making sure that I was okay, that y'all know that this guy's probably like, and y'all can see probably the way I post, like, this guy's like hurt, man. He's sad. He's confused. He's angry. I mean, I don't know what to feel for him, but all I need to do is I need to test my friend right now and communicate with him,
yep,
and make sure he's okay. And
yep. And you wasn't the only one.
Right.
I reached out to you. I reached out to a lot of my friends that I know who are directly affected by this kind of stuff. And I know how you are, and I know how a lot of them are. Y'all are proud Black men and women that I know. And I'm not going to sit idly by when some of my closest friends are the ones that are incredibly affected by this. I'm not going to sit by and not say nothing. But people we consider friends, in the way they have come about saying things to people during all this stuff, is just downright stupid. There's a guy you went to Puerto Rico with,
mm-hmm.
who come out and said the things that he said. That's ignorance at its finest. This guy is your friend. This guy is your friend. He's been your friend for a while. And you want to call him an idiot because you disagree on something and you can't talk it out like a normal person. That's the problem. That kind of talk and that kind of being that way is the problem.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get over that in order to get over anything else. But that is one part of the big, gigantic problem. Some people are so damn stubborn in their ways that they don't want to listen to what anybody has to say.
Definitely.
And that made me angry.
Oh, yeah.
That made me angry, to where if he was standing in front of me, I would have punched him dead in his face for you.
Oh, man, it hurt, man. I'm sitting here like, I didn't come at you defensive, man. Like, what did I do to you?
No, you didn't. You didn't come at him in any way whatsoever. You came at him at the way you always come to everybody, with a sense of sensibility and wanting to talk about it. But that crap he had to say, I'm like, dude, you're lucky you wasn't standing in front of me, because I would have smacked you dead in the face.
Yeah.
I would have done it for Cortez. Cortez wouldn't have needed to do it, because I would have did it. But that in lies the problem. People need to get over whatever entitlement or whatever way they think the world should work, and talk about people and talk to it about people and figure out a way to help instead of a way to hinder.
Right, man.
Freaking idiot.
Agree, man. All right, be on.
Look here. The only thing I teach my child to hate is Florida State. That's it.
Definitely. All right, we're going to transition into Drew Brees' comment. I'm going to stop and play the clip, and me and Kevin are going to come back and let y'all hear it. I'm sure y'all already heard it, but I'm just going to play it again for the podcast sake. And me having a veteran on here, I'm going to have him go with his thoughts first. So stand by into this video.
Everyone is looking back now at Kaepernick's protests from a few years ago, and obviously they were always about police brutality, and now it's coming back to the fore, and a lot of people expect that we will see players kneeling again if and when the NFL season starts. I'm curious how you think the NFL will and should respond to that, and of course, you're such a leader in the league. What is your responsibility as a leader in times like that.